Hello and welcome to the B Button. Here we are on episode 8. Yeah! And as always, I'm joined by my compadre in arms, the man himself. It's the Angry Link. How you doing, buddy?
Yeah, pretty good.
Cool. What have you been gaming this week? What have you been doing?
Not been doing a lot of gaming. Mainly on my phone with Punch Club.
Yeah?
So a little sort of fight simulator. There's loads of bits and bobs. There's loads of 80s references in there. It's proper cheesy as hell.
Is it a new game?
No, it's been out. It was there was this massive campaign on Twitch. It's a really interesting story. There's some good bits and bobs to it. It's a good little game.
Yeah.
They've just done a new update, especially for Twitchers.
For Twitchers, that sounds amazing.
There's like the audience can bet on fights that you're fighting in, and they can you can win stuff. They can win stuff.
That's pretty sound.
Yeah, I don't know all the details of it. I was just reading about it yesterday, the other day. So it sort of inspired me to pick it back up.
Nice action. Nice. So what? Basically, because they're doing some new levels, or was it characters or something?
Yeah. There's sort of like a new 3 hours worth of content to go through. But yeah, the fights you can do obviously side bets, and yeah, if you stream to Twitch, then your audience can join in on the fun and sort of get a little betting on the side as well.
I said knock him out, not touch him up. Yeah, amazing. Cool. So, any other gaming, or has it really just been that?
No, it's just been that pretty much. Just been catching up with some TVs, some episodes of animes, new episodes that I'd come onto Netflix.
Don't do it, man.
Yeah, I know.
Don't get caught in the world of anime once you're in.
Some of them are hilarious, though.
You'll never get out.
They're brilliant, and you've got some proper utter bastard characters.
Yeah. Cool. Me, I've been watching a bit of gaming this week. As always,
It's been a busy week, though, hasn't it?
Yeah. It's probably been 4 main hits for me. Zelda Twilight Princess. We talked about it last week. It tickled my fancy. I had to go get it, and it's good.
Same as the Wind Waker, though, isn't it? Because it's like, I've played it. Is it going to be really worth? Yeah, it totally is worth it.
Yeah,
it's
exactly
just that you don't even need to have a sort of second question. There's no second question. I'll barely get through the first.
Really weird though. I don't remember having the ability to name your horse at the beginning. I was like, I know you always name your character, but to actually rename
I was just
Epona.
straight away Epona.
Yeah, it's Epona, isn't it? Everybody knows that. But yeah, cool. So I've been hitting up that. I've been smashing the Uncharted collection. On to game 3 now. Just trying to keep the momentum going, ready for 4. Great gaming. And then more recently, as of Friday, Hitman. Played a bit of that. That was
nice.
Cool. A bit more about that later. And also The Division, which has just started to take over.
Yeah.
But a bit more about that later as well. Cool. Well, I think we'll bust over to our Bullet Bills Big 3.
Yeah.
Let's do this. Okay, Bullet Bills Big 3. Baby, here we go. Hitting the news section. And first bullet hole for this week, what we got, Link?
The Battlefront DLC leak. Is it GameSpot? Obviously, had the story earlier in the week. Apparently, it's going to be releasing on April the 5th.
Cool.
It'll be $15.
Wait, didn't they say it was going to be March?
Yeah, but I suppose a week. It's not too bad.
Fair enough.
As far as slips go. There's going to be 4 new maps from 2 new locations.
Yeah.
But they're not new planets. Obviously, we're back on Tatooine. Obviously, one of the maps will be in Jabba's Palace, I believe. The others in Sullust. There's going to be 2 new heroes, which will be Greedo and Nea Nub.
Oh yeah. So the co-pilot of Lando. Yep.
Yeah, from Jedi.
The one who's got the face like
weird,
vagina.
Yeah, something like that.
Yep.
There's a couple of new guns. There's a Rowie V10 rifle. Which,
okay.
Yeah, I know completely what that is. I don't know what that is at all. Obviously, it's a rifle.
That's cool. I mean, look, for me, new character skins, one thing. New guns, that's a little bit better. That's important.
It's another blaster, the DT-12.
Oh yeah. I know the
I'm
one.
thinking that I don't know if that's Hans or Greedo's. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's someone out there that probably will.
So Hans is already on there, so maybe Greedo's.
Then there's the new mode, the extraction mode, which has players extracting a valuable shipment to transport ships before the time runs out. So like capture the flag basically or whatever then. So you go and pick up something, carry it over.
So I guess this isn't making you reach in your pocket to buy then.
No, to be honest. Yeah, I don't know. I'd like to say it's just not enough X-Wing for me.
Yeah, I need to be in space now.
I've just realised that I just need someone to make Rogue Squadron 3.
Yeah, I know.
That's it.
We can't keep going over this. I mean, just somebody either make it or let's stop living in hope.
Speaking of other EA games, though, all the new Mirror's Edge videos they're doing, that's kind of got me getting excited about that.
Yeah, we were discussing this the other day. I know we're on a little bit of a tangent here, but I still find that just the camera angles, I just can't get my head around when you want to hit somebody's in front of you, running up the wall, so you look at the wall, then jump and turn around and look at them. I struggle with it. it.
Well, there's a few gadgets. They've nicked a few little elements from Batman.
Yeah?
Yeah, so you've got like a little sort of grappling hook kind of thing, which you can use to swing about, and you can upgrade it so you can hack shit, and yeah, I don't know. It'll be interesting. I'm hoping I get in on the beta. If all the betas that I've entered into, like Gigantic, I've had the beta. I've had that downloaded for weeks, and I've not even put it on once.
Yeah, I mean, I got that.
Sorry,
and,
I have put it on once. It said it's time to update, so I started the update, and then I come back and I was like, I can't be bothered now.
Yeah, you're missing absolutely nothing from what... I mean, when we looked at the intro of it, we thought that anyway, when we looked at the trailers, so... Anyway, we digress. Second bullet hole for this week. What we got is a bit of Gears 4 news. And we've got some new images out there, basically.
Wasn't it they're sort of showing a few new sort of abilities and what's sort of going on with some new gameplay?
Yeah, we had interview as well with Rod
Ferguson.
Thank you. Which was a pretty cool interview. Just quick fire questions.
Yeah, I thought it was good. There was a good some interesting ones in there, some good little comical ones.
Yeah. One of them was they said is one of the new power-ups in the game Nex. Everybody gets Nex now. Yay! But yeah, no, the graphics are really, really sharp on it, man. Really sharp.
I think got to be careful with screenshots nowadays, haven't they? Because they can be put through high-end PCs and filtered. And
I got super excited when I saw, because there's the new knife attacks, isn't it? Well, I say, up close finishes, melee finishes and stuff like that.
Executions.
I got super excited looking at some guy sticking a knife through an enemy's head. But then Jedi alluded to the fact that it was kind of just
pre-rendered.
Yeah. Why? But Gears has always been such a graphical beast. The horsepower has always been. You look at Gears 3 on the Xbox 360 and you think this game still looks amazing even now. Those graphics sort of spanned the generation, didn't they? So.
Oh god, yeah. It's I mean, back when obviously Cliff was doing them, and like the first one when that came out, it was phenomenal. Obviously, it's a lot of brown and greens and greys, but they look good. They did. It was phenomenal. Really good looking game.
Yeah, man.
I mean, I'd be interested to have a play for it. I didn't play Judgment.
Judgment's good. Lots of people bitched and moaned about it, but I absolutely love Judgment.
Yeah. But again, I'm for you. I don't give a toss about the multiplayer.
Yeah.
I'm too old and slow now to be competing with the whippersnappers with their millifucking second reaction times and my second reaction times.
I'll give around to shooting him in a minute.
Yeah, basically, and it is pretty much a minute.
Yeah, but Gears 4 generally looking awesome. I mean, if they carry on track, it's going to be pretty impressive.
Yeah.
New character, we know who the main protagonist is now.
It's all Phoenix's son.
Marcus Phoenix's son, JD. Yeah, JD. I don't know what. They may be trying to make it sound a bit too rough-necked for me, but it
was almost a bit old Zat, wasn't it? Captain.
Yeah.
JD.
Jeez. Cool. Okay, so what we got for our third bullet hole this week?
So I suppose disappointing news for some.
For some, but not for me.
Obviously a few studio closures, quite a few layoffs. Lionhead is going to be closing down.
No. It sounds like Microsoft were listening to our podcast last week.
Yeah, it seems that way. Obviously Fable Legends is going to be cancelled. The beta, if you're on it still, it's running until the April of 13th.
But do you know what? I think maybe the reason why they're cancelling that game is because it was shit.
Yeah, I'm sorry, but to be honest, I just lost interest in Fable at Heroes.
I mean, once again, I'm not going to go into my Peter Molyneux rant. I promise you. But I'd say that if you spend all your time telling the gaming community, I know what you like and it's this, and then when you listen to what that person says and you go, That's not what I want. For example, a Fable game where I'm not a character and I'm sat in the back of a horse and cart using Kinect.
No, but if they'd have said, "Here's something we've added to Fable,"
yeah,
you'd be like, "Fucking amazing!
Yeah,
I can drive
cool.
a horse and cart and I can fire magic with the Kinect." I mean, I'm sorry, but the problem with Kinect is we're trying to replace the controller. You're the controller. I don't want to be the controller. I've done that. It's strenuous. It's annoying. I've got to stand up. I can't sit down and enjoy myself and relax and lie back.
I want to have an evening of gaming, not an evening of exercise.
Yeah,
if I wanted an evening of exercise,
I'd go become a gym wanker.
Exactly that. Yeah. So Lionhead Studios. Sad to see him go.
I mean, I love Fable. I still think the first game really stands up. It's a brilliant game, especially for the time. Fable 2 is still really widely regarded.
Yeah.
I just think it's disappointing that they've taken... I don't know how much pressure it is from above that they've taken to do the direction they have. Obviously, Molyneux left 2012.
Rat deserting ship, sinking ship.
Yeah, basically. Yeah. It seemed that way.
So what's happening to the staff? They're all fucked.
Well, Sony are holding an event in Guildford. Obviously, that's where Lionhead are based.
Yeah.
For obviously any of the staff members that have been laid off. So hopefully some people stay and work.
Cool. So all the people who do like the creative stuff, like the writing and the artwork, they'll probably be gone. But the people who make the shonky, loose, like indirect controls and the zero impact when you're attacking people, they'll probably get eaten up and start infesting their way into something.
Hopefully it doesn't go that way, but we'll see.
Is this a beef? I feel like I'm on a What's the Beef Chief again. Pull me up. Me up.
Well, again, Press Play from Denmark, the developers from Max, The Curse of the Brotherhood. They're gone. They've been shut down. They were the ones, do you remember last year, when we was looking through some stuff, they were the one that asked the community what kind of games they wanted to make.
Yeah.
And I thought some of those ones, they did sound interesting what they could have been. But it's a shame.
So, they asked the community, nobody answered?
Perhaps. I don't know what's going on with Microsoft. Obviously...
Sorry, carry on.
There was... obviously, you got to worry about Rare now next, haven't you?
Yeah. Well, they've got their pirate game.
Sea of Thieves, yeah.
That's got enough momentum now to carry through.
Hopefully. Because everyone's been waiting for a game from Rare that isn't tied to Kinect.
Ooh, sore subject.
Yeah.
Anyway, well, I don't know what to say, really. I mean, Lionhead... typical, you deserve it, you're not making games that people like, what do you expect? But
at the same time, you feel that there's sort of hundreds of people whose decisions haven't been theirs, and the directions and the paths they've taken have lost their jobs because like all the while the few have ruined it for the rest.
I'm going to leave it on these last few words. Damn you, Molyneux!
Yeah.
Is the beef, Chief? I mean, what's going down, man? What's your beef? What's your beef, sucker? Is the question of the day. And answering that very question is the one and only Angry Link. What you got, Link? What you got?
Well, thinking about something the other day, like how I was talking about it a bit earlier, weren't we? Like, used to love going out and finding games.
Yeah, man.
I remember from when I was from little, obviously this is pre-internet days.
Yeah.
I mean, we had, I don't know if you ever remember the Video Games Centre?
Yeah.
I mean, that was like a well-known of our town, wasn't it?
Two things for me, Video Game Centre and CVG the magazine.
Yeah.
Those two were kind of like my go-to for insider source information.
I mean, just information, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, we're saying, has the internet ruined like the shopping experience? And
man, I spent literally like months just gawping over the pictures and the articles in magazines, just being like, I can't wait for this game. It looks amazing. I remember when they announced Street Fighter 2, and then they did like a 8-page section right in the middle of the magazine about like all the different moves that Ryu had, and you got all the artwork with it, and it just looked amazing.
How many times did you reread the article? Like, how
I can't wait until I can do that move.
like I remember you'd find an article for a game, like, because it would always be like a few months before it's due out, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
You'd get trickled, and I'd find myself, I'd like read a little bit about it because I was like, I don't want to ruin it. But as it got closer and closer to the release date, you'd just read more and more and more. You'd be like, I'm going to read it again, and and by the time it's come out, you've read the article, and you've, like, every other magazine that they've got some news, I'll buy that just for that news.
Exactly, yeah. You were buying magazines just based on that one game on the front cover that you wanted to read. And the thing is like, it wasn't like chump change either. You were talking like, you know, £3-4, and then later on more than that when they started putting like demo games on the front with PlayStation and stuff like that.
I was always lucky that I never had a PlayStation when all that was when it was all current. I remember I bought a PS1 and for like second hand for real cheap, and a copy of Thrasher Skate and Destroy. That was the only time I owned a PlayStation 1. But that was a brilliant game. I loved that. It was shit as buggy as hell, but it was amazing. I loved that skateboarding.
So you finding like it's kind of the hype's ruined now, the hype train?
Yeah, well, it's ruined the joy of discovery, because I remember like say going down to the video game centre, and you'd see, because it was he used to sell second-hand games.
Yeah.
You'd see stuff that people had bought from other places, and like the odd random game that you'd never heard of, and
exactly
going over shelves and looking for stuff. But you know everything that's out and everything that's going to be stocked, and everything that's not stocked there you can just go online and buy.
I remember my mate Marv showing up with a copy of WarioWare, and it was just like amazing. In some wacky bright yellow moustache-ridden Japanese box.
Yeah, the little tiny GameCube boxes, they were brilliant, weren't they?
There was one which was twisted, which actually had a motionometer in the bottom of it, and you had to like shave his face. And man, that was amazing. That was like, you don't get that game over here. And I remember going to a guy who used to go to the video game centre, a guy called Keith, who I ended up working with later. He set himself up with his own game shop, and it was up in the Triangle area. And man, I remember walking into his store, and he had a Sega Saturn in there, and I was umming and ahhing over buying a Sega Saturn for ages, and he had X-Men versus Capcom, and it was a CD and a cartridge game, so you had to put the cartridge in the back and the CD-ROM. You could only get it on import in America. It was like £80, and to me at the time that was like
money well spent.
Well, no, the
lot of money,
like just far beyond what I could afford. And I remember just looking at it and being like, graphically it was amazing.
I need this.
Yeah, like,
who must I kill to obtain?
Yeah, and just going in at every opportunity after work, standing in there and just absolutely macking that game for ages.
How many times did you consider selling a kidney?
Oh, loads of times. Not even my kidneys, other people's, but like the logistics just didn't work. They just didn't work.
Yeah, so that's what I'm talking about, though. I mean, I know import was ridiculous, like the prices, but because they're not available over here, Western and European sites don't talk about these games. Like, there's very few. I mean, Kotaku's really one of the only real sort of major websites. Polygon do occasionally that pick up any good, decent imports. Edge, it's a bit of a pompous fucking.
Oh no, you dare!
But yeah, I mean, I used to love that, and seeing like copies of Radiant Silver going, oh, how much is that? Oh, that's £250. Yep. This was 15 years ago.
Yeah.
Neo Geo games, Metal Slug. Oh, how much is Metal Slug? That's £1,000.
Yeah, forget it. But it's that thing though, isn't it? It's just like, I think about betas and stuff like that. It's like, are they ruining the experience? I mean, The Division, an amazing game, right? So it came out, I had it on downloadable content, on download, so it was ready to go at 12 o'clock. I knew I wanted to play this game. I know it's a great game. We'll talk more about how great it is later. But even then, I was like, well, I've already played it, and I've got that slog to get through the first few missions, which was the beta. So, like, as I've done that, when can I be asked to actually start grinding that game? And it was just like, has this ruined it for me? Maybe it has.
That's why I didn't really play a lot of the beta. I wanted to see how the shooting got on. All I remember from the shooting is you need a scope. That's the first thing. If you want to actually hit some people in the head, you need a scope.
Yeah.
Or a really good handgun and get really ballsy and go up close. So,
what about with regards to things such as like the death magazines and like internet sort of, like IGN, Kotaku, GameSpot? all these big gaming websites?
I think the biggest problem is people confuse opinion with news, and the biggest problem is because you can't sell a magazine like you can now, like you could. They've got to obviously invest their money in other ways and try and make money in other ways. Obviously, you see Future Publishing, like their whole gaming arm, other than Edge, pretty much is gone. Like there's very few. I mean,
so you're saying
official magazines.
The actual journalism aspects of dying.
Yeah. Well, it was always kind of shady, and it was.
How does that ruin your want for games now? How's that? Because for me, you're right. I think it's that thing about it's an opinion now, and that opinion
advertising.
Yeah.
Everything's set up to get as many clicks on ads, and
but that's the point. It's like it's about an opinion, so therefore you should come and listen to our opinion. Which, don't get me wrong, it's important. You're sitting here listening to our opinion, but it's almost like the fact that we'll make an article of anything because we need to talk about it, and it's like, well, is that actually in the benefit for people who want to play the game? I don't know. Sometimes
it's this whole got to be first thing. Like if you're gonna have an opinion, Don't just be first.
Yeah. Not first to have an opinion, basically. Yeah.
I mean, VG's 24/7. I mean, you've seen... Right, alright. Mate, there's a clickbait headline. You click on it, and it's just like, such and such has announced they're developing a game. And you're like, wow, a games company is developing a game?
Holy shit balls.
Shit the bed. Yeah. It's really... Thanks for that, VGC. Thanks for wasting my bandwidth.
I just kind of feel out of all the things, I just missed that whole... As a kid, and maybe it was because I was a lot younger at the time, but just like, that sort of over from page to page, just gawping at the pictures, being like, oh my god. And then you in your mind, you made that game what it was before you played it.
Here goes for you though, like, the difference, what makes the difference for me is I don't like digital. Like, when I'm dealing with writing and reading and stuff, I love analog. I wouldn't spend any more than 50p on a digital book. I wouldn't even spend 50p on a digital book. But I'd still happily spend £18 on an actual hard copy book.
Well, but isn't it sort of similar in the fact that, you go to game stores now to go mull through the shelves and actually maybe just have a look around, but you know what's out there. You know it all.
You go there specifically because it's that, it's a certain price, you've done your research and all of that. It's very...
You stand in front of a game, you look at it and go, will I spend £5 more in their shop? No,
because I want it now.
Yeah, no, I'll go to Argos and get it £5 cheaper.
Yeah, it's kind of... the independent shops as well, it's no way possible for an independent, because, say, unless you're a really nice person and you like to
give them your business
money, that's it, you want them to succeed, all you're going to do is see a game and say, I've gone to the trouble of importing a game and paid the import tax and all of that, blah 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 or whatever, and I've shown you this really cool Japanese game. All you need to do is find out the name and go on playasia.com and probably get it 15 quid cheaper. That's like, I can't compete with that. I'm going out of business.
And the thing is the advantage, and dare I say it, but the smaller game shops used to have, is what you do is you like, have you got a copy of GTA 3? Yes, I have.
Have you got it now?
When does it come out? Monday. Great. If I come down now, yes, I will be able to sell you a video game, sir. You show up there, give them the money, take the game,
I used
go
to
home
love
and play
that.
it.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah. I remember, was it GTA Vice City come out? And obviously I was bunking off a lot of school at the time. And it
not that we encourage that.
Oh no, I don't encourage that at all, because I've completely ruined my education.
Yeah.
But yeah, I remember just being in there on the day it come out, and the guy who owned the shop, he knew I was bunking off school, but he didn't give it to us. I used to go in there and obviously spend my money. Yeah. And I just remember being in there all day playing on Vice City. It was unbelievable. It was brilliant.
I remember exactly.
And it wasn't out for 3 days.
Yeah, no, I remember exactly the same thing. And I remember going into a little shop in an arcade in like sort of an area around where we live, which is not that reputable, and just being like, so have you got that game now? And the guy being like really shady and be like he's dealing crack or something. Like, yeah, maybe. Would you sell it now? No, it's before the release date. Right, because if I didn't buy it from you now, I'd probably just buy it from another store in 3 days' time. Do you want the business? Yes, I do. Okay, thank you. Goodbye. That whole sort of like really awkward conversation.
And then you get You
brown paper bag. Yeah.
No, meet me round the back in 15 minutes.
Yeah, opens a car boot full of like pre-order games. Yeah.
I suppose really, isn't it? That I mean, it's. I kind of had the shopping experience ruined, and the whole thing. I love. We're
not going to get it back, are we?
No, I love the internet, but at the same time, I hate it because it has ruined. Because you look on like trying to find news, like and it's everyone's doing the same story, and it's just like okay, yes, but we're hearing your opinion. Nobody cares. Just something new. If you have a new opinion. But don't just say, oh, here's the same thing, but told in my words.
Do you know what I want to see? I'd love to see something like, here's some news. We're going to do an interview with the people at Cuphead and see how their development's going on.
Yeah.
Booyah. There's some news.
That's some journalism and gives some interesting questions. And
yeah. But it is just all about, there's a new game coming out, we're going to plaster it over our website, so we're going to like just feed you as much as we can. And we've talked before about like things such as like titles in, I think it was sadly Kotaku did it with the Batman game. Spoiler alert for anybody who hasn't played through the Batman Arkham sort of Knight and Arkham City series and all that lot, so put your fingers in your ears. But with the whole How the Joker Dies title, you know, it's just like
the fucking clickbait. Yeah.
What are you doing?
Yeah, no, that's the thing. I think it's got very sloppy and it's very PR fed and it's there's very little actual what you would call journalism, but the whole world of news and media's like that, and mainstream media's like that. And
we had the situation before where, like, you know, you go mulling through the shelves looking for games, and it'll be like the art on the front of the cover, and then the pictures on your back, and be like, that actually looks pretty sick. Yeah. So you bought it. But now what happens is, best that you get from it is Doom's released the cover art. It's shit. Everybody hates it. We're going to peer pressure them to change it, otherwise we're not buying your game. What? That's not what it's about.
No.
That's not what it's about.
No. I think, there's too much drama and over-the-top showmanship about it all.
D-R-A-M-A, drama.
Yeah, it's just... yeah.
Do you know what? I think it's time to mull over to our uncharted territory.
Yeah, because I think we go around in circles just getting annoyed and sounding like grumpy, whinging old women.
I remember when I was young.
Yeah, I remember when they were on tapes and they cost me £1.99.
Don't know how lucky you are. Right, let's do this. Boom, boom, boom. And here we are. Fuck it, I'm going to do a mellow voice this week. I'm going to go all the way. It's uncharted territory. Yeah!
And we're loud.
We're loud and we're proud. I'm lost in the middle of the desert of uncharted territory. And waffling this week about The Division, basically.
Well, you've got Hitman as well, haven't you?
Yeah, bit of Hitman in there. Bit of Hitman. Big games. Big game releases.
Yeah, so what your major sort of takeaways from The Division? You're enjoying it.
So I did the alpha, no, not the alpha, but the private beta and then the open beta. And frankly, I think they've done an amazing job with it. I think they've really, graphically it looks better, looks more solid. I would go as far as saying that they've just tightened it up a little bit. Some of the things so when I was playing the beta, I got loads of clothing, just loads and loads of clothing. I got blue attachments real quickly. I know it's a little bit further along the storyline, but they seem to looked at what you unlock and how quickly you unlock it. I got loads of muzzles. I haven't got any muzzles hardly. They've just mixed it up a bit. So yeah, I think they've sharpened it up. They've seemed to have paced it a bit better as well.
Cool. I mean, I found the shooting to be a bit loose. Is that tightened up at all?
I don't think so. You're still in the situation that if you hold down an M16, it's going to spray everywhere.
It's all control burst all the way, really, if you can, and unless you've got the scope and a single shot.
Man, honestly, the one thing that I loved in the beta, and it's back in the main game, is just using the M4 rifles, use your scope, stand at distance, and just be headshots. And as always with these things, the impact sound of getting a headshot like that, sort of ripping sound.
Well, again, don't forget though, Ubisoft have got one of the best gun guys teams in Red Storm. I mean, these are the people that did the original Tom Clancy Rainbow Six games, and who was also co-founded by Tom Clancy himself. Yeah, who knows his guns,
knows the sound of his guns.
Yeah. So they're the Ubisoft has got a good team working alongside Massive there for that.
I think it's one of those games that when you play it, there's a lot to take in. You've got not a lot to take in, but it's a control system that once you get your head round it, works really well. But when you first start playing it, you're just like, hit B to take cover. Well, no, A's to B's to jump, clamber. Oh god.
The thing I found with the cover thing, it was that's the only problem. It was sometimes difficult because it's a busy screen. I mean, the one thing that I would say is the HUD is pretty.
I told you it's busy, man.
Yeah,
there's a lot going on,
and it's trying to keep up with that little thin faint green line that shows you where you're going to be taking cover. And I found myself sometimes struggling at times when it gets hectic. Yeah, obviously because I wasn't doing it with a squad at all. I was going lone wolf all the way on the story on the beta. I found it sometimes got a bit mad, and I'd be like, no, jump over the thing, not go round the corner and just be like, hi guys, shoot me in the face now.
Yeah, there's a bit of that. I mean, initially, what I've been doing is I've been playing the levels on hard.
Yeah.
Because you get a bit more XP, a bit of a challenge. Yeah, and it's good, don't get me wrong. I actually really like it because it is challenging. You can't just pile through it.
Yeah.
What it's like on Destiny when you've got that challenge. It's there, so it's good. But like you said, there's that thing about the roadie run, the cover based point to point cover. It works really, really well. I like it, but you do find instances where it's like, not that wall, and also for a cover based shooter, the AI love to bum rush you.
Yeah. There's a lot of sneaky tactics. They're pretty dumb at the moment. Like, you can suppress the enemies and they will stay like, right, I've got to keep my head down, and one guy can just literally walk up to him in the face, just hold a gun to his face mere inches and just keep unloading into it.
I might have done that recently where I hit around a corner point blank with a sniper and just was like,
yeah, you can, like, when some of the times when you take the high ground, they're just like, is somebody shooting at me?
Yeah.
And by that time he's down with his head split open. But
there are some things in there which are pretty cool, like if you go up against some like purple enemies, and they've got like the gas tank on their back.
Yeah.
When you're fighting at a normal level, shoot it, starts lighting up gas, fun explodes, great. If you're playing on a hard level, like the enemy themselves will take like 15 shots, right?
Yeah.
But the gas tank will take like 4 opposed to like 1. So it's still worthwhile going for it, but you've got to be like, I'm not doing the damage on the enemy.
Yeah.
All in all, I would say though, what they have really done well is they have sort of there's some noticeable difference between the beta and the main, when they actually release the game.
It's clearly a different beast.
How many times have you played a beta and then you play the main game, it's the same? I mean, I'm sure they've tweaked some odd things like, where I was allowed to rinse this before, I can't anymore now. Yeah. But they've actually noticeably changed the game, in my opinion. Just even graphically, I was like, man, that runs a lot smoother and looks a lot better now.
Yeah, good. Can you see it sustaining?
It's definitely going to be around for a while.
I think like they date mine. It's like 26 main missions, and then obviously you'll have the hard variants, and then there's obviously the dark zone stuff.
But yeah, it's got longevity without doubt.
Do you think that they can avoid the Destiny sort of like the drought, where you rinse and cane for everything, and there's no. It's like big chunks.
Yeah.
You've got to wait for a big chunk, and then there's a semi-big chunk of stuff that comes through, and then you rinse through it, and then you got to wait another big chunk of time.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny you say that because we were chatting with Jedi earlier on, and he was saying they've drawn out the roadmap of what they're doing for the next year, and I thought this feels like very much year one Destiny situation here, where I looked at the roadmap and I was like, that's cool, okay, sweet, yeah, cool, go for it. But like you say, how well they pace themselves for the rest of the game. There's plenty of stuff in there already where I'm like, there's like, high-end weapons like the Liberator machine gun and stuff like that, where you're just like, I need that in my life.
I suppose the simplest thing that I found, because they said that they were going to start doing like weekly challenges and stuff, didn't they? I mean, like you say, just like, the way with Xur, there's like this week you can get a chance that this will be the special weapon that might drop, or this will be the special armor that might drop in the dark zone at this level, and on certain missions. So I think if they're clever about it, you can do enough to keep people coming back, because you know what these loot shooters are like, or any looting game, it's just like, okay, you're bored, have you seen this new loot? It's almost like the opening of the trench coat, and it's like, come see my wares.
Well, that's the thing, isn't it? You get to a point where you've maxed out all your guns, you've got the best shit, and then you're looking at like the other guns which are out there, and you're just like, It's great, but like this one's better. So all you're doing is collecting and selling loot. You're stockpiling in effect, you know.
Have you had any issues with the trolling, like the doorway trolling?
No, so I haven't had any issues today, although I did hear some stories from Jedi earlier on about people getting like close into corners and doing
I think it's on the first area you come into. As you come out, like you can block the doorway, so like 10 people just stand in the doorway, so nobody else can get through. Yeah, some people do star jumps or just start pointing. There obviously was ways that you could just sort of run at them for an amount of time, and eventually the game will go, all right, and go on, fuck off, and sort of warp you through them. But yeah, it's obviously there was that, and then there was the queuing up for the laptops. Like you've seen screenshots where there's like 20 people. It's almost like a queue for a toilet at a nightclub.
So I went on it the day it was released. I went on it at about 10 o'clock in the evening for the first time, and it was like going to the bar on New Year's Eve. It's just like 4 deep to get to a laptop. It's like, really?
Nice.
So yeah, but I mean, all in all, I mean, if I had to sort of summarise the Division, just go out and play it. Seriously, I mean, get it. It's going to be around for a while. I think it's a really solid shooter. Really solid.
I was going to have one more point, I think, but I've forgotten it. No, I think it was just sort of talking. Yeah, I think
get it. No, but seriously,
how's the base stuff? Have you managed to get much of that upgraded yet?
So, I mean, the thing is with the Division, it's not like leveling up gets you new skills. It's building out the base and all the different
you've got
sections.
to collect the resources for each one, haven't you?
Exactly. So the tech centre, the medical centre, security, and as you do that, that's how you get your new shield or your automatic machine gun or whatever, and then you get talents and perks which come off of it. It's one of those things which is going to make you drive to do that bit of the game first to get all your options, although, you know, or you're going to just cane it to the dark zone and try and get your best guns, but there's lots there. There's a lot to do in that game.
So it's going to take really some sort of serious chunk of your time.
Well, put it this way, as I said, some other games I was playing this week, which was like Uncharted, Zelda's just come out, Hitman's just come out, and I looked at the Division and I just went, I kind of almost want to put them on the back burner for a little bit whilst I just clear through these, otherwise I won't play them.
Hitman, obviously, you know, you've got the next bit of that to come, and is it next month or the next month after that? I can't remember.
Not too far away.
So that you quickly blast through that you can give that for a couple of evenings, see how that goes, because it's something that you can always go back to, isn't it? I think that's what the good thing with the episodic. I think it could work for Hitman.
Well, talking about Hitman, actually, I've been really, really surprised with it because I understand it's episodic content, and I'm one of these people that I kind of think just like, I've got the money to buy this game in full, just give me a full game, and I understand the pros and the cons for the developing company who do it, but I do kind of think, I'll just give me a full game. But equally, what I will say is, and I'm not going to do any spoilers for anybody, but you get some training missions at the beginning, and then you get the Paris map, right? Yeah. And just on the training mission alone, you can replay that loads of times, and in each one it'll be like, this time you've got to poison the guy, this time you've got to garrote him, this time you've got to drown him in a toilet, you know. They've just put loads of different variations on it, and there's a couple of different training maps as well. I
like the idea that each of these maps is its own. Like you say, it's a little celebration. It's not just a segue into this bit of the story. Here's just a go and have fun. Here's a murder box.
Well, yeah, and what they've done really cleverly, actually, well, I say cleverly, I just really like the idea of it, was it's your training situation. So you're in a warehouse, and they've made a boat out of like cheap balsa wood and stuff like that. Yeah. So you can see all the balsa wood. You know it's fake. You know all the people standing around you are actors, and yet.
You still feel I am like Agent 47.
Yeah, it's weird. It's really weird.
I love that about. It kind of reminds me of the first mission on Modern Warfare. I love that. Like say Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare. I still rate that as like one of the best first-person shooters I've ever played. I love that game.
Yeah, I mean, just
ghillie suit. Anyway, back to Hitman.
No. But exactly that. It's that thing about same as exactly with Modern Warfare. Ghillie suit, all that sort of stuff.
Felt like an SAS badass.
Exactly, like, and that's also what Rainbow Six does quite well, you know, and going back to the Division a little bit, but it's that thing about, you know, in the Division, you are a group of people who just live normal lives, but you've been trained to be badasses. When the watch goes off, you know, like, you know, the ring with the shadow, you know.
I did love the Echo stuff. I've really, because I was watching a few videos. It's just basically, this echo stuff's really, really cool, but it's just all massively bleak.
Yeah.
It's just, you found a video. You've battled for all this time to find this video, this information. It's someone getting flamethrowered to death.
Yeah, exactly. Like I watched some of the videos, and it's like it'll be like a cop car going along, going down an alleyway, and they're like, I can't see anyone. All of a sudden, like a body drops directly in front of the camera, and you're like on the bonnet, and you're like, oh shit, and it's brutal.
Yeah.
And you just then the body gets ripped off, and gang appears in the alleyway, and they're all like, get out of here. And at which point the glass starts shattering in your face as they start shooting you, and you just watch your character. Other ones where like in subways, people like running for their lives, and you've got 4 different cameras on the like from the CCTV, and you get that sort of jumpy, jittery like framed cameras that you get with CCTV.
Yeah.
And then you just watch them like run for their lives, and then like they just about get away from them. They get to like a locked door. They catch up with them, start beating them to death, and it's just like.
Grim and desolate.
Yeah, really. I mean, one of them. I had one.
And then there's Hitman, a bit more brighter.
No, I had one audio recording on that Division, which was just like this one was like hello, and then it's literally just about 10 seconds of someone going, and I was like, that's fucking brutal. That's really, really like dark. And then the next audio recording was her ringing him back, going like, "Hey, see, how do you like that at 4 o'clock in the morning? Yeah." I was like, what the fuck? Just a twisted world, mate. Man. You get that real sort of like, you know, in the third Batman, Christian Bale Batman movie with Bane, where it's like the city is eating itself alive.
Yeah.
You really get that feeling.
Sense.
Yeah, very much so.
I think that's the good thing. I mean, it's difficult to tell a story in a game like that where a lot of the story is like it's the city itself crumbling.
Yeah.
I mean, there's very few games. I think The Last of Us did it really well. How the environment itself actually sort of told the story. Again, was talking about it as well. Metroid Prime was brilliant. I loved the scanning system in that and how you could find out all the lore and what happened in places.
And it's funny because there's some situations where they do shit like that in games, like, you know, you take something such as Destiny as an example. I'm not trying to pick on Destiny, but you know, you don't really give a shit about the storyline. Yeah. You know, like we said in previous episodes about like Oryx being like a woman before, and you know, Monster of the 6 and all that stuff. But then you go to things like we were just saying about any other game where they do breadcrumbs correctly, like Metroid Prime, where you're scanning it and you want to read the lore, and you come up to like one of your like compadres and he's got his chest ripped open like an alien style, and you're like, and all the information's like internal hemorrhaging, and you're just like, that's cold and brutal death, you know, in space.
It wasn't this we've got to show you it. It's just like, no, here's what's happened.
It's atmospheric, isn't it? It actually builds on the like tension of the game.
That's it. I think it's. I mean, what is that like? You say with Hitman, how does that go? Because
Hitman's
because it's been obviously IO was sort of talking. It's a little individual sandboxes. Yeah. There's nothing really that connects it all up. There's no real narrative. It's just here's the guy you've got to kill. Have at it, isn't it?
I mean, well, right at the beginning, this isn't a spoiler for anyone, but you're just basically at the beginning of Agent 47's life as an agent.
Yeah, his career.
He shows up and he's going to be trained, and you do the training missions, and it's actually quite good. It's quite interesting how they twist it, and then you kind of go out into the operational field, and you know, I think Paris is your first job.
So, nice.
It's not your first job, but it's like the first job you do officially as an agent, as far as you're concerned. I mean, whether it's a few years later down the line, whilst he's an well-oiled hitman at that point.
Yeah, your first out into the wild on your own, sort of thing.
But in Hitman, it always makes me laugh that as soon as you drop somebody, you subdue them, put them down. It's just like, I'm going to strip this bad boy off and wear his clothes. I'm not sure about this right now. Lots of dragging like naked bodies around and stuffing them in like storage bins. And
I was reading a few interesting things with that. Is like, if you want to poison someone, you're better off being a waiter, because it will seem less suspicious that you're fiddling around with food.
So I did exactly that. I went in dressed as a security guard, got me past the front gate, got me up to the first level, went to go put some poison in this drink, and everyone was like, what the fuck are you doing? Put on some like chef's clothes, and then or like stewardess staff and or whatever, and then they had no issue with it. But then if you try to say go up to the next level, say dressed as say, a security agent, or it's only security agents on that floor, then you're wearing the wrong outfit for that. And
you'll seem to see,
And the other thing which is really clever about that, actually, is that you've got things such as, so if you're wearing a security agent staff uniform, some of the staff will look at you and will know the staff. There'll be more experienced workers there.
Yeah.
So some of them will look at you and go, hold it, wait a minute, who are you? Where other ones will be fine. Where all these, say, seamen, phrasing, boom, won't consider you at all because they don't know the security staff.
Yeah.
And it's around, depending on which outfit you got on, different people are more likely to recognise you than others.
That's what I think. Hitman's always been an interesting game about how you go. Like you say, it's there's no right or wrong way essentially of doing things. It's just there's different ways.
Yeah, exactly that. So you've got the option: break out an AK-47, walk through the front door, and just be like, and you can fight your way through it.
But you're going to struggle.
It's going to be hard work, yeah. Or you can be like, I'm going to grot him, I'm going to drown him in a toilet, I'm going to poison him. I mean, my favourite execution so far, and once again, it's not ruining anything, but you're doing one of the training sessions, and as you walk around the level, you hear two mechanics talking to each other, and they're like, did you put that security protocol onto the jet so that the ejector seat doesn't come out? And he's like, oh, I'll get around to it. It's like, the protocol, man, you gotta do it. So, like, he turns it off. I go knock it. Oh, actually, I poison him, drown him in the toilet, steal his clothes, and then go turn it back on. And then take the main guy I'm trying to assassinate, get him to sit in the seat, and I'm like, hey, why didn't you try pulling that lever? So you watch him like. And the thing is, bearing in mind this is a training mission, like, and you're in a training environment, you still launch this guy off into like the environment. You're like, sorry, buddy. But yeah, it's good, man. They've done a lot of like refining from the previous games. Absolution sort of progression.
I think this with the episodic thing, I think it allows them to concentrate solely, like you say, here's one area and we'll make it the best it can possibly be.
Yeah.
As opposed to like most games of that sort of nature where it's one mission after the next, after the next, after the next. You always find that there's like sort of through 3/4 of it's amazing, but then there's just these really sort of
some bits
they're right, but he didn't need
filler.
It there. Yeah. I mean, do you think that they'll avoid that with this format that they're going with?
Yeah, I mean,
so each of it's a little celebration in itself, as it were.
Yeah, exactly that. I think it gives them an opportunity to really. I mean, they're still making a game. They're carving it up. I
mean, they're going to be releasing it full retail version of it in 2017. So obviously, all of the content will be on one disc. So
they get us there at some point. I've got to think a reasonably good deal, digital copy, which we always know is more expensive, £45, and that's the full game, all the episodes.
But yeah, I mean, it's another way as well to keep people interested over a number of months. Because you've essentially got into 2017, haven't you?
Yep.
For content, really.
Yeah, exactly.
Because you've got, I think, is it 6 over this for the year, and then there's the 7th one that they've not really announced yet. I think we talked about, wasn't it?
The thing is like, I think you're right. I think they will get these little maps right. Also with the ability for players to make their own sort of, missions. So in the previous game, it was very sort of linear. You went to one location, you did that, you went to the next location.
It kind of all bottlenecked into it. It was like, you can do however you want, but you've still got to do this.
But you've still got to go from A to B to get it done. Yeah. Where in this, because you've got like that sandbox thing, people really can say, actually, it's not that guy you've got to assassinate, it's him, and he's up on that floor, and that door, you have to take that route.
To get to him, you've got to go via him, or maybe him, there's him, he could also use that, and then can get...
exactly.
This massive spider's web of assassination and fun.
Yeah, and there's lots of things like you have to, assassinate them in a particular way. So if you don't poison him and drown him in the toilet, or grot him, then you failed the mission, know? So, I mean, I think there's loads of opportunity there. It was always a good mechanic in Absolution, so to then try and, carry that over, they've done a good job of it,
Looking forward for the rest of it, and looking forward to really getting into some garroting.
Man, honestly, I just want to see that cable choking action all the way. Drowning people in toilets, I've said it so many times, but it's a very special thing, and I think we should all try it.
Especially because you'd have to upper decorate as well then.
Oh yeah, you got to upper decorate. Right, well there it is, folks. That's us for this week. Hitman, try it if you can. Look, do the £15 option. It's pretty good, and definitely get the Division.
So, would you say that Hitman alone, that first mission's worth £15?
Yes.
Amazing.
Yeah, try it. Cool. Right. So from Angry Link, it's
adios.
And for me, it's Auf Wiedersehen, pets. Auf Wiedersehen.